All right, we are going to return now to that developing news that we continue to follow out of Fulton County and the fallout, the reactions, and the responses that we are tracking to it. Again, if you're just joining us, last week the FBI executed a search warrant on the Fulton County election hub, seeking and seizing documents and ballots related to the 2020 election. Just this morning, just a few hours ago, some Fulton County officials, including, according to a spokesperson for Fulton County, the Fulton County Commission Chairman Rob Pitts and the Fulton County Board of Elections and Registration, filed suit of their own. They filed a motion in response to the FBI's search warrant, seeking the unsealing of the affidavit that was in support of that search warrant, and also seeking the return of the evidence that was seized. At last check with our Doug Richards about 45 minutes ago or so now, who has been tracking this story, no response to this latest piece of litigation from the FBI at this point. We will continue to track that, but it's not just a local or a state story. This has become a national story with national interest once again on Georgia politics, and Georgia's election system. Our Faith Jesse, my co-anchor on the Georgia Vote, a core member of the 11 Alive political team, a woman who wears many hats. You just recently, just in the last hour or so, talked with Georgia's Senator Raphael Warnock about this. What did he tell you in your conversation?
Well, Zach, I'll tell you what, it's something that we've heard many Democrats talk about and even some Republicans. But what he is talking about here is just the fact that this election, he believes that it was a fair election in 2020, and he believes that this move is a move to undermine the election process. Like you were just explaining, there are a lot of questions about this, what some are calling a raid, what some are calling search warrants being executed, but the reality of it is that the 2020 election was won by President Joe Biden, former President Joe Biden, but President Donald Trump he continues to dispute that. He says that he does not believe that. He continues to say that the election was rigged and stolen. If you all remember, back in 2020, there were multiple recounts. Governor Brian Kemp, as well as Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, were at the helm of that. There was a specific phone call, which led to a specific indictment against the president. And here we are now in 2026 with what we see, this search warrant executed at the FBI, or excuse me, at the Fulton County election hub by the FBI.
And Faith, I know that that was not the only focus of your conversation with the senator. He visited Minneapolis just a few days ago in the wake of the fatal shooting by federal immigration agents of Alex Preddy, a protester in Minneapolis, the second demonstrator who was fatally shot by federal immigration agents in just a few weeks in that city. Senator Warnock visited the memorial to Preddy. I know you talked to him about his views on what's going on in Minneapolis and immigration enforcement across the country. What did he tell you?
That's right. I mean, and it's really interesting too, because I'm pretty sure, and if you're watching this and I'm wrong, let me know, but I'm pretty sure we're one of the first local stations. He spoke with me and Sarah Callis from Georgia Public Broadcasting this morning since that trip from Minneapolis. And what he was saying is that, he went over to Minneapolis as a senator, but also as a minister. He gathered there with faith leaders, and he is very against this. He does not believe what ICE enforcement is doing right now is right. He does not believe the actions that they are doing is right. He believes that it is against the Constitution, and he went there to pay his respects to Alex Preddy, as well as Renee Goodman, who was shot and killed by the hands of ICE enforcement officers before him. We do have a couple of clips. I think since we were talking about ICE, we'll go ahead and pull that one up first. Here, yeah, you were good. Here's what he had to say when I asked him about what specific policies he wants to see he can do as a senator that he can push for between now and November in regard to ICE. Take a listen.
Let me be clear where I stand. no more masked men jumping out of unmarked cars on our streets, no more using children as bait, no more barging into the homes of ordinary citizens without a warrant. These are basic civil protections that I learned in ninth grade civics class. You don't have to have a law degree or to serve in the Senate to know that these things are wrong, and I intend to hold the Trump Vance regime that is trying to turn our American democracy into an authoritarian experience. I intend to hold them accountable.
Yes, sir. He says that he intends to do what he can in the Senate to hold the president and those behind the president accountable for this. Ultimately, he said it's going to be up to the voter to decide in November, as well as the midterms in May, but ultimately in November to put people in places of power who can make decisions. As you know, the Republicans do have the majority. Many Republicans are following the directive of President Donald Trump, who this was a campaign promise that he has remained true to with ICE enforcement. This is nothing new. He had campaigned on this, and he is sticking to it and continues with the immigration enforcement. But Senator Warnock, as well as Senator Ossoff, and several Democratic senators, as well as representatives in Washington, they say that they are doing what they can do now in their power to make sure that the people of Georgia are protected.
And Faith, obviously, you know this well. We cover this together. 2026 midterm year is here. We are coming up on the heart of the midterm election cycle. Senator Warnock is not up for re-election this year. His colleague, though, fellow Democrat Senator Jon Ossoff, is. We've been talking a lot today about the Republican primary in the governor's race. The Republican primary in the Senate race has also gotten a lot of attention, has become increasingly heated. Whoever gets the Republican nomination will go on to challenge Ossoff in November. Overarching all of this conversation about elections is what happened at the Fulton County election hub. That has become, once again, a central theme of campaigns and our election conversation. I wonder if the senator said anything on that front.
So he did not speak about the campaign specifically, but since you brought that up, I do have some statements from Mr. Ossoff regarding the FBI raid. The statement that we have, it says, Donald Trump's conspiracy theories about the 2020 election have been based in Georgia from the very start. We need to be prepared for Trump to continue abusing his power in an attempt to undermine Georgians' voting rights in the midterm elections. I challenge my Republican opponents, Buddy Carter, Derek Dooley, and Mike Collins, to answer a simple question. Did Donald Trump win the state of Georgia in 2020? That is a statement from Jon Ossoff. Of course, I did reach out to all three campaigns. I'm just checking my phone right now to make sure that I did not get a text message between now and when I received this. I did receive one statement, however. I have not received statements from Derek Dooley or Mike Collins, but Buddy Carter did send in a statement saying, unlike Jon Ossoff, I have no problem telling the truth, which is that Donald Trump won the state of Georgia in 2020. After years of lawfare against the president, we are finally having a proper investigation that I hope will get to the bottom of the fraud that occurred in that election. Look no further than recent reports of people registering to vote from addresses beneath bridges and empty lots for proof of that. If Ossoff is truly concerned with election security, he would sponsor the Save America Act and ensure only American citizens register to vote, but that would chip away at his voting base, so he prefers to maintain the loopholes that allow illegal immigrants to vote in our elections. That is according to Representative Buddy Carter. It's important to note that election fraud was investigated several times in 2020, and nothing was found during those multiple audits. However, just like Buddy Carter, Congressman Mike Collins, who I spoke to last week, he says, we want to see the truth come out of this. I asked him, well, was the truth not revealed in 2020? He said, we'll have to wait and see. Now, on the FBI raid, I did ask Senator Warnock about it. Here is part of our exchange. Our producer is going to pull that up for you.
Senator, you are leading that oversight effort with Congresswomen Nikema Williams, Lucy McBath, and a lot of voters here in Georgia are wondering what is going on. You've requested this meeting with Pam Bondi. If she refuses to give you a briefing, what specific consequences will you push for, and what authority do you have to enforce that?
Listen, we will keep raising these issues. Donald Trump tried this in 2020. And the voters of Georgia, they were the ones ultimately who held him accountable. They fired him. And try as he might to disrupt our elections in 2026, part of the response, and I'll continue to do my work as a voice for Georgia in the Senate, but part of how you respond to these awful efforts at voter suppression is to turn out in such large numbers that the outcome is overwhelming and cannot be disputed. And so I think Georgians have seen this before. They don't take kindly to people messing around with our elections. And I think that Donald Trump and the people who are collaborating with him, those who are supporting him in Congress, are going to pay a high price for this come November.
So yeah, you just heard there, he has requested a briefing with Pam Bondi on this, hoping to get some answers as of what was taken, why it was taken, and what will come out of this. Will the briefing happen? That remains to be seen, but he is leading that effort with Congresswoman Nikema Williams as well as Lucy McBath. So we will see what comes out of it.
Faith Jesse, my colleague on the Georgia Vote, my colleague tracking all of what is going on in Georgia politics. Faith, thank you for bringing us this interview. And we should point out, too, if you want to see the full interview, the entire conversation with Senator Warnock and our Faith Jesse, it is streaming right now here on 11 Alive Plus, where you can also see Faith's conversation with Congressman Mike Collins from last week and my conversation with Congressman Buddy Carter. You can watch all of that here on 11 Alive Plus. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.